That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is episode 37, The Corporation, and we're covering the second half of November of 1998. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, how you doing this week?
Doing well this week, man. Corporation starting to form here. We really kind of see the next. What would you call it? Like the next evolution of Vince McMahon?
Yeah, you get some progression.
It's even more of a power trip. Yeah, progression.
Yeah. Right, he's got his own stable now.
Yeah.
That's how important he is now. He's like, I need a fucking stable. Fuck the X, I got my own shit going on now.
Yeah. What a fucking... And they're pretty stacked, as we're going to find out. They get some marquee players in the corporation.
It's funny, he's just going to take DX in the nation and put him in his own thing.
He takes their best guys.
I'm going to take The Rock. I'm going to take HBK.
Yeah. I got Ken Shamrock. I got my UFC guy. Then he's got his Stooges.
So, it's definitely a new evolution of McMahon.
Yeah, that's it. Evolution. If you think of it, too, like, if you can compare this corporation stable, like, accolade for accolade to probably any other stable in wrestling history.
Yeah, it's right up there.
Just by talent. If you look at their accolades, so you got Sergeant Slaughter, right?
Yeah,
he was a former champ, one of the best villains of all time. You know what I mean? He was big time heel in the '90s villain. Yep. Like he's a fucking
early '90s, even in the '80s.
Yeah,
and he was a fucking G.I. Joe superhero.
Yeah, that's why I like guy. But he was a good guy in Well, he was a good guy first, anyway. A good guy, babyface.
Right. Then he turned on the country during the Iraq War.
So they got him. They got Pat Patterson. They got Briscoe.
IC champion Pat Patterson.
Yeah. Boss Man.
Right, the big boss man who you hate.
I hate, but I guess kids liked him. He was a cop.
A correction officer.
A correctional officer, yeah.
And he was a guardian angel in WCW.
That's right, he was. That was ridiculous. I still don't know what the fuck a guardian angel does.
They just like patrol the streets, like.
Are they like Goodwill?
Yeah, it's like Goodwill ambassadors. It's kind of like neighborhood
losers,
neighborhood watch.
Yeah, neighborhood watch on steroids.
Yeah, but the dude is 6'6", fucking 300 pounds.
Oh yeah, he would fuck me up. Wouldn't even be close.
No, he is pretty legit as a tough guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, pretty damn solid stable there. And then of course you got The Rock, and we'll get into it because more people are gonna come into it. So yeah, let's not blow our load here talking about corporation. That's what this episode's about. But yeah, last week we left off. We had the Deadly Game, episode 36, and that was full jam-packed Deadly Game.
Oh yeah.
If you like Survivor Series 98, well, that was the episode for you because Survivor Series took up the whole damn episode pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back to covering some Raws and a little Sunday Night Heat. And we got transition period, basically. It's we're moving on from Austin as the champ, and he hasn't been the champ in a while, but moving on from him being the main guy that they're going to focus on, and Austin is kind of peripheral for a little bit here. I mean, he's still the focus, but he's not the headliner. He's on a little side angle at this point, which we'll get into. And The Rock is supposed to be the new big star, McMahon's guy. But, in reality, it's still all based around Austin. It's just we're not putting Austin in the main event picture at this time because Vince fucking hates him. That's why.
Yep. Nailed it.
Yeah. All right, so that's what we're gonna come right off of that from episode 36 last week, Deadly Game, and move on to November 16th, 1998. But before we get right into that episode of Raw, I do want to point out that the Extreme ECW live cast on the BTT Patreon network, JV and I just did another episode. We did our third episode, and that covers Hardcore TV from May 4th and May 11th, 1993, and that's going to be out today. And I think we fucking nailed it.
No, I actually I enjoy these now. After the first one, I was like, "What the hell did I get myself into?" But we're covering episode 3, so we covered Hardcore TV episodes 5 and 6, and they were awesome. And it's really starting to ECW's starting to turn the corner into actual Extreme Championship Wrestling, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to look forward to this. These watch-alongs. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm getting excited already. Like, I want to do the next one already. That's like
yeah. Like I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen this stuff before. So contrary to how this show works, where we've seen this stuff before, and we're more or less reliving it. This ECW stuff, I've never seen it before. I don't know how many of our listeners have. I'm going to assume it's probably less than 50%. Because I just don't think a lot of your average wrestling fans really
go back and watch that
stuff. But
right.
If you haven't, it's worth it, and it's cool. It's like watching an old show that on HBO or something.
Right. It's just like watching something from the beginning too.
Yeah. If you were going to go back, and if you'd never watched Game of Thrones, and you're going to go on HBO and watch Game of Thrones because everyone talks about it. Well, I'm telling you, go back and watch ECW with starting with us on Hardcore TV episodes 1 and 2.
Right. And only way you're going to do it is join up on Patreon, patreon.com, book in the territory, and you'll have us there, and you have a whole bunch of other shit, too. So it's not like you're just paying $5 for us. There's plenty of good content out there if you like old school wrestling. So,
there's a smorgasbord of
the smorgasbord
of content from the wrestling community on there. So,
all right, so let's get into it now. This is Raw 286 from November 16th, 1998, and this is live the day after Survivor Series Deadly Game from Lexington, Kentucky, and it's like a new day for Raw because they have new opening graphics, they have a new intro, so it's almost like the day after WrestleMania, where usually they like start a new season, I would say. That's what they're doing here. And it's been a while since there's been a change in the graphics in the opening segment. It's basically been since episode 200, if I'm right there, where they finally changed the opening. They had the Titantron and the big ramp. That was 86 episodes ago, and this is the first time that they changed the graphics since. So that was notable to me. I didn't know if you noticed that. Did you notice that, JV, when you watched?
No, I did. You can definitely notice it. Yeah, the budget's getting bigger.
Yeah, right.
The money's coming in. They have the money now where they can kind of.
And it's starting to kick ass too in the Monday Night Wars here too.
Are they at this point? They're kind of.
They're taking a lead here at this point.
Nice.
Yep. All right, so let's get right into it. We're gonna have Vince McMahon come out with Shane McMahon, and they're gonna head out with the Stooges, Big Boss Man. And let's take a listen to what Vince McMahon has to say right here.
And the rattlesnake is here, and we are live. And this should be an interesting address. There goes that chant again, JR. I'm ashamed of these people here in Lexington.
Thank you for that warm Kentucky reception. Last night at the Survivor Series, my son Shane and I proved that whoever it was that said you can't fool all of the people all of the time was a damn fool.
Right!
A damn fool is someone who insists on doing things the hard way. A damn fool is someone who embraces middle-class ethics and values. Yeah. And a damn fool is someone who doesn't pucker up and kiss the boss's ass.
Well, that's cutting to the chase.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now, don't tell me all of you don't kiss the boss's ass. I know you do. You probably just don't kiss it enough.
You find humor in that remark? No, it's truth.
Right now, I would like to introduce you to someone who certainly is no damn fool. Oh, no. He's not the people's champion. He never was. He's always been my champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Wrestling Federation champion, the corporate champion. Ladies and gentlemen, The Rock.
You smell what The Rock is cooking.
All right, so basically Vince McMahon just comes out right there and he said, last night we proved that the person who said you can't fool all of the people all of the time, well, that person who said that was a damn fool. Vince McMahon loves to say that. He's a damned fool. Damned fool. That's one of his favorite phrases. He says the damn fool is someone who insists on doing things the hard way. He's obviously talking about Austin. And he's somebody that embraces the middle class. A damn fool is someone that doesn't pucker up and kiss the boss's ass, which he said neither last week or the week before. But he's doing this whole thing again where, you guys need to kiss your boss's ass.
Yeah.
And everybody should be kissing my ass around here. And you guys probably don't kiss your boss's asses enough. And that pretty much sums up what he has to say there. And he's going to introduce The Rock. And he's going to introduce him as the corporate champion. So The Rock comes out. And he's got the new belt. He's got the Big Eagle. Last week I called it like Big Blue.
I don't think it was Big Eagle.
No, I said, because I went back and I listened. And I did say Big Eagle. Then I said Big Blue. And I wasn't sure what the title was. So, listener of ours, good friend of ours, Frank Alves, he hasn't. It's funny because he listens all the time, but every once in a while, when I fuck up with something, he'll finally message me, like, "Hey, fucking Big Eagle," and I knew right away. I was like, I fucked that up, didn't I?
Oh, I can imagine how oof. Don't correct me. He's probably got a fucking notebook.
Well, Frank. He even said, though, that's the belt that he's been looking to get because he has a fucking shit ton of belts.
Does he? That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got the belts and, like, the cases and everything. He's like, that's the one I want to get.
That's badass.
So he knew right away. He's like, fucking Big Eagle, Mike. Big Eagle. Damn it. How did you get it wrong? So, yeah. Thanks, Frank, for correcting me.
Yeah, good looks.
So you have The Rock comes out. He comes out there with the Big Eagle. And The Rock is, explaining to the crowd, my phone's been blowing up. Why did you sell out? Well, The Rock was just trying to get ahead. And that's just basically how he explains this. I just did what I had to do to get ahead. You people are no different than the biggest trailer park piece of trash in the world, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then right from there, you get the huge Austin chants. And then I like how The Rock turns it around. And he says, die, Rocky, die. Rocky sucks. The Rock never forgot that.
Yeah.
And I just like how he phrases that. It's like, I never forgot that. Fucking guy said that for a year. And now all of a sudden you're like all over my dick, basically. So now I'm turning on your ass. That's great. That's awesome.
It's great how he brought that into his story here.
That's perfectly planned out.
What's funny, too, is this is something we'll see as a theme where people aren't selling out. They're just trying to get ahead. And Seth Rollins did that with the Shield, if you remember, recently. Right. So it's something you kind of see throughout. I'm sure if we looked back, in the mid-2000s, we could find something similar with one of the top stars where they're kind of they're not selling out. They're buying in,
Right. Oh, good point. So The Rock also goes back to what he said before about kissing Vince McMahon's ass. That he'll never kiss Vince McMahon's ass. I mean, obviously we know from what happened the night before at Survivor Series that it was all a fucking scam.
Yep.
But he still even points out that I said I would never kiss this man's ass, but The Rock really meant he'll never kiss your ass, the people's ass, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. So that also, adds on to what he was just saying with, you guys always said Rocky sucks, die Rocky die, so I'm not kissing your ass. I'm not the people's champ. Fuck you guys. I'm the corporate champ. So there you have it. And that leads into a video package that they're going to play at 12 minutes and 12 seconds into the episode. But as they're about to go to the Titantron, it shows Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin starts walking into the building. Vince McMahon's a little pissed off about it. And, pretty much just fucks up Vince McMahon a little bit. He's like, what the fuck is he doing here? And they go back to the various clips, the whole build-up. I don't want to run through it all because we just talked about it all last week, but it just breaks down all that went on, which I thought was kind of lame. It's like, you don't have to spell it out. People fucking understand it if they watched it.
Yeah, your ratings are very high. People are watching your shit, dude.
Right.
No? How many new viewers? I don't know. I mean, maybe they're looking at the numbers and it made sense to do this, but I doubt it.
Or maybe they just felt like, they just think wrestling fans are dumb. Like,
they do think wrestling fans are dumb.
Yes.
They definitely do.
So we're going to spell it out for them because we were so innovative. We were so smart with this writing that we need to really hit it home that this is how good we were with this story. Other than just recognizing that, those that get it, well, they'll get it. And it made sense.
Well, it goes back to Vince McMahon at the kick off the show, his opening promo. He takes shots at the middle class right away. That's his core audience.
Yeah, right. But he wants to hit that because you're supposed to hate the rich guy.
Yeah, right.
Middle class. Right.
But I think he also, everyone says, Mr. McMahon was, how many of those feelings were actually really Vince McMahon's? Probably more than people care to admit.
Oh, yeah, like we said on last week's episode, he's not lying when he's saying what he's saying about who he is. And
there's some truth in there.
Right. All right, so Steve Austin comes out just a few minutes later. Just one thing before we go to Steve Austin is I thought this was funny. Vince, he calls Mankind a dumbass, basically. He says, this gullible ass, and you can't shine caca. It's caca. I haven't heard that word in so many years.
Neither have I.
You can't shine caca. So, yeah, that was funny. But anyway, Austin's going to come out here at 16 minutes and 9 seconds, so let's take a listen to what Steve Austin has to say to this jackass.
Stone Cold should be the WWF champion, not that corporate butt-kissing Rock. Hey! Don't turn your back on him, Rattlesnake. Ah! You talk about a defiant son of a gun. That's why he's not the champion.
Well, I must say, Stone Cold, look at the lumps on your face. You look like a little worse for the wear. You get beat up last night or something in the Survivor Series? What's up?
I know you're just trying to provoke me, Vince, but it really doesn't make a damn because I got to get something off my mind right now. If you think The Rock is a sorry sellout son of a bitch, give me a hell yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
How embarrassing. How
Go
true.
ahead and say something.
I'm not trying to provoke you. I would like to remind you of the clause in your new contract that my son Shane signed that says, unless you are provoked, you can't lay a hand on me.
Yeah, what about that?
Just remember that.
I don't really feel like laying a hand on you. I got something a little bit bigger and a little bit more important than you yourself. Roll a little footage on the screen of what your son, Shane McMahon, did when he signed my contract. Go ahead and roll me a little footage.
What?
it pleases me to announce that on November 16th, the day after Survivor Series, Stone Cold Steve Austin will get his title shot right here on Raw.
What? Don't get excited. Now don't get excited. I overruled that the same night. You had your shot at Survivor Series.
Good.
You overruled that. What I got here,
Oh, what's that, JR? What kind of document?
what I got here is a legally binding contract which gives me a title shot at The Rock here tonight.
What? All right. Now, wait a minute. Austin's got the McMahons by the short hairs. Legally binding.
I had no choice. I had no choice.
Daddy Dearest is hot.
That piece of paper isn't worth the ink that it's dried on it. Giving me a contract. It's notebook paper.
According to the 3rd District Court Judge Horn of Lexington, Kentucky, this is.
They took it to a judge?
This is a legally binding contract, and if you don't believe Judge Horn, I got one more piece of footage to show you, so roll that bastard right now.
What?
Mr. McMahon, I have in my hand a document supplied to me by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even though not written on formal pleading paper, it is a binding contract. I have reviewed the exhibits as well as the contract and find that this document was signed on Monday, November 2nd, by Shane McMahon, who was lost with the corporation and had a right to bind the corporation. Furthermore, this document states that on the day after the Survivor Series, November 16th, Stone Cold Steve Austin will compete for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Now, therefore, it is my ruling, based upon the evidence before me, that tonight, Stone Cold Steve Austin will have his title shot live on Raw. We stand in recess.
Judge Mills Lane.
Hell yeah!
Oh, hell yeah! We got a title match right here tonight, and the McMahon family, the front office, can't do a damn thing about it. That corporate butt-kissing champion, The Rock, may be one of the shortest-lived title holders in WWF history. The Rock must have been the WWF title.
Right in the middle of that ring. 1, 2, 3. You're looking at the next champ, and that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold sits on.
Oh, it's going to be an earth-shattering night. The Rock may be the shortest-lived champion in recent memory. The title on the line tonight live.
All right, so Austin comes out there, and at first he just comes out there and he pegs off McMahon. It's like, fuck you. And then McMahon, I don't know if you thought this was as funny as I thought, but McMahon's like, hey, you look like you got beat up at Survivor Series. What's up?
No, I did find that funny. I have to actually have that in my notes. It's such a dickhead thing to say.
He's like, what's up?
Yeah.
And Austin just, like, he didn't expect McMahon to say that and just smirks. Like,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
He legitimately found that funny.
And then he goes on with this promo. He's like, I know you're just trying to provoke me. If you think The Rock is sellout son of a bitch, give me a hell yeah. He gets a pop from the crowd, of course. He says, McMahon says, I'm not trying to provoke you, but there's a new clause in the contract that says you can't lay a hand on me, which I didn't hear that until this time when he said that.
Yeah, I don't remember us covering that last week.
Right. So, apparently, Austin can't touch McMahon, and Austin points out that he does have a title shot coming to him because the contract he signed with Shane McMahon, and McMahon quickly says, no, I ex-nayed that pretty much on that same day. I came out and said, Shane McMahon, you don't have any power, and Austin, you don't have another title shot. Your title shot's going to be at the Survivor Series, not the day after Raw. But this leads to Austin fighting that, apparently, and you got a lawyer, or Judge Mills Lane. Fucking boxing guy.
Hell yeah. Celebrity deathmatch guy.
You're right, Celebrity Deathmatch. He's the ref.
Dude, Mills Lane was like a 90s legend. Anyone that was into culture, like entertainment and shit like that, it was Mills Lane.
Hell yeah.
Former boxing. He reffed the the Holyfield and Tyson fight where
Right,
Tyson bit Holyfield's ear.
Exactly. Yep.
It's kind of how he got famous.
So there he is. He's fucking giving Austin a title shot. And yeah, he's got his title shot. It's going to be later tonight.
And he's a legitimate judge, like
Right.
in real life. Yeah.
Did he? I feel like just from watching that scene that he should have been like Judge Judy. Did he have his own fucking court show? Like small claims court?
I don't think so. If he did, maybe like local television. I don't think he got like a.
Well, he
like
should
a
have.
big gig. Yeah. Well, it was who in the 90s? It was Judge Wapner?
Judge Wapner, yeah.
The People's Court?
Yep.
That was, yeah. Those court shows weren't as big in the 90s, right?
No. Well, that one was. But that now.
No, yeah, that was like the
now
one.
there's so many.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. All right, so like I said, Vince McMahon earlier, he had, just referenced Mankind as being a gullible dumbass and whatnot. Now, Mankind has become a problem because he screwed Mankind. So he's been just toying around with Mankind, and Mankind's been sucking up to him basically all year at this point. And Mankind was just used again, and Mankind's pissed. He shows up to the building. He's yelling about Vince McMahon, and McMahon doesn't want to be in his shoes. McMahon doesn't want to be in his shoes, and he's going home. He's going home. And he's going to the boiler room. So this becomes a major problem for Vince McMahon and the Stooges because they don't want Mankind fucking with the night. So McMahon is going to send out the Stooges one by one to deal with Mankind. What'd you think of this? I thought it was pretty comical.
I didn't think
it's lame, but
yeah.
So you have first off, it's Pat Patterson goes. He's like, I'll find him, and then he comes back and he's like, I couldn't find the boiler room. So Vince McMahon's like, you couldn't find your ass. So Briscoe's like, I know where it is. I know where the boiler room is. I'll go. And he goes and he's like, I heard a bunch of weird noises, so I didn't want to go in, McMahon. And then Sada says, you're a big wuss. You're a big wuss. So they say, all right, well, Vince says, Sada, why don't you go in there then? And then Slaughter goes and he's like, oh no, I can't do it by myself. And McMahon says, all right, we'll send all three of you. So then all three of them go and they're dressed up with fucking football gear and helmets from Kentucky, University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah.
And they got all the gear on and they go in there and Mankind just kicks the shit out of the Stooges in the boiler room. So, like I said, I thought it was pretty comical. It was just goofy shit there. So that's the Mankind problem. So McMahon has to worry about that. Pissed off the wrong dude, and he's gonna get pretty hardcore. And I like how this is building up because just a couple months later, he's gonna win the world championship. So it shows us right here, like this is all tied in together. That fateful night where Mankind wins on like January 4th, I think, of '99. He wins the title. And it begins here. That he's pissed off.
Yeah.
He got screwed by the corporation. And he's gonna win it.
He's been like one of the top guys now for a little bit. Like he's always at the top of the card. They've been building him.
Ever since he was the corporate dude. All the way back
corporate dude and Dude Love and all that stuff. He's always kind of been in the somehow involved in the main card, the main storyline, which is Vince McMahon.
Right.
Which, like you said, is corporate dude.
All right, so with that said, we're going to have an addition to this new corporation that's being formed, and we get Ken Shamrock. So later in the night here, we got Ken Shamrock is coming out, and he's going to get on the mic, and he sucks on the mic, as we've talked about before, but he's going to talk about being screwed over. He's been screwed over by the Boss Man. Boss Man hit him with the nightstick last week and the week before, and screwed him over. And he's sick of it. And he wants a match with the big Boss Man. So he tells Boss Man, I'm going to give you a title shot because I want you in the ring. And they have their match. And the McMahons come out during that match, Ken Shamrock and Boss Man. And Shamrock is basically what happens. McMahon comes out and he tells him, stop it, stop fighting. What the hell are you guys fighting for? And then McMahon says some shit like, we both come from broken homes, and we had to fight and scratch for everything, and I can give you family. Now, I don't know. I didn't look into it about Shamrock's life, but I thought his brother and were like fighting. Like I don't know
his backstory, but I know he had his brother Frank Shamrock, who was also a UFC fighter.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, he seemed like he was pretty solid with his brother. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good point. But I don't really know anything about Ken Shamrock's backstory.
Yeah. So McMahon's like, I can give you family. So Shamrock and Bossman shake hands, and now at this point you have the world champion and the IC champion. So it kind of goes back to what we were saying before. McMahon is building a stable of the best.
Yeah, he's got the two biggest titles in WWE at the moment.
Yeah, like, I'm just going to take all the champs and put them in my stable.
Yeah, corporate is stacking up the gold.
Yeah. And at this point in the show, JR is going to refer to them as Team Corporate. So it's not known as Corporation yet. So we got this early version as Team Corporate. All right, so that'll lead us now to the main event of the show, which was a pretty solid match. Steve Austin is going to get his title match at 1 hour, 17 minutes. And what did you think of this match? I thought it was pretty decent for being a Raw match.
No, I thought it was a good match. I mean, these guys have chemistry, so I kind of expected it to be a good match. It was brawl, some technical aspects to it. You have kickouts of finishers, which was weird that, and I know you're going to get into it further, but Austin takes the corporate elbow, but then Rock doesn't go for the pin.
Right.
He puts him in like a chokehold.
A sleeper,
right?
Yeah.
A sleeper hold. And I'm like, it's weird. Like,
right, and Austin's
his
just
finisher, and he
hanging
hypes that up earlier on in the show. Is always going to hit him with the corporate elbow or whatever.
Yeah, and right from there, like, it leads to Mankind coming out. And Mankind's trying to get to McMahon. And the Boss Man's out there, of course, with Shamrock. They're both out there during this match. And they start to kick the shit out of Mankind. But then back in the ring, Austin and The Rock, they're doing a nice back and forth punch. I thought that looked awesome.
No, they do that the best. When they
that reminds me of WrestleMania.
Blows, yeah.
When they do
Nobody does it better than them two. I know Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens do a really, really good trade now, but
this Austin and Rock looks
for
awesome.
Sentimental purposes, Austin and The Rock will always be the pinnacle there for that spot.
Yep. And that spot happens at 1 hour and 28 minutes. And like I said, it looks fucking awesome. And then right after that, you get Austin going for a stunner. Rock blocks it. He goes for a rock bottom. Austin breaks away from it. And then Austin finally hits the stunner. But Earl Hebner is pulled out of the ring by Shamrock. And that screws him. And Undertaker fucking comes out of nowhere.
With a shovel.
Yeah, with a damn shovel. And Paul Bearer. Because they're aligned now at this point. And Austin gets fucking cracked over the head with the shovel. And Earl Hebner is going to call for the DQ. JR is flipping out. Austin had the title won. What the hell? So Undertaker screws Austin. So it looks like we're moving towards an Undertaker and Austin angle again. And we'll get more into it in the next episode of Raw. But that's what we're getting to at this point. And that pretty much ends the episode. And leads us to a little bit of extra attitude, which, I like to bring up because it's stuff that we haven't really seen. And basically what you have here is a stunner party. It's Austin stuns everybody and drinks beer at the end, which I think this is the first beer celebration at the end of an episode. Not actually. Yeah, this is going to be the earliest, but this one wasn't actually aired on TV, obviously, because it's extra attitude. But this is the beginning of it. And this is going to become normal at the end of Raw for Austin to be getting the beers thrown at him and drinking them in the ring. So, pretty cool moment. And maybe the coolest Earl Hebner has ever been. But because of my hate for Earl Hebner, this might be up there as an oh hell no moment. It's like, fuck you, Earl Hebner.
Yeah. Oh, I already know my oh hell no moment.
That's probably ICP. All right, so that concludes that Raw. It now brings us to Sunday Night Heat, episode 17 from November 22nd, 1998. And we're going to start first off with a Mr. McMahon in the Corporation promo. So take a listen to that.
Past week on Raw.
I resent the fact that many of you have publicly stated that if it hadn't have been for The Undertaker last Monday night on Raw, that Stone Cold Steve Austin would have defeated The Rock for the WWF title.
I believe he would have. No doubt about it.
When in fact, The Rock was just warming up. The corporate champion hadn't even broken a corporate sweat. Just to show you what kind of a competitor the new WWF champion is, The Rock has decided he will defend the World Wrestling Federation title at the next WWF pay-per-view, appropriately titled Rock Bottom.
Well, it does pay to suck up to the boss, doesn't it?
I guess so.
The Rock will defend the World Wrestling Federation title against Mankind.
Whoa.
The Rock's not backing up for anybody. Now, as far as Stone Cold Steve Austin is concerned, Austin, there is no chance in hell you will ever again be the World Wrestling Federation champion.
Thanks to The Undertaker.
However, The Undertaker gave me an idea. When The Undertaker almost decapitated you with that metal shovel when it struck your head, gave me an idea. I like to consider myself a sport. Actually, pretty damn good sport. And as such, Austin, at January's...
Here goes a chant again.
This really gets under his skin, doesn't it?
It's our First Amendment right to express ourselves.
Austin, to show you the kind of sport I am, at January's Royal Rumble, you will be one of the 30 participants.
Whoa.
That is, if you qualify.
Qualify.
And all you have to do to qualify is, at the next WWF pay-per-view entitled Rock Bottom, all you have to do, Austin, is defeat The Undertaker. That's all. All you have to do, Austin, is defeat The Undertaker in a buried alive match.
My God, is that all? That's December 13th at Rock Bottom, a buried alive match.
Just one other issue I'd like to bring up, and that is many WWF fans feel as though that I personally have too much power. With that in mind, to show you that what we do, everything we do, is all for you, the WWF fans. Commissioner Slaughter has graciously decided to step aside so that on Raw, I will name an independent, free-thinking, new WWF commissioner just for you. Thank you very much.
You smell what The Rock is cooking?
So the owner of the World Wrestling Federation setting two big matches for Rock Bottom. And also, JR, a new commissioner tomorrow night on Raw.
All right, so you got the corporation coming out here at the start, and Shane's going to hold the ropes open for The Rock, and then The Rock's going to hold the ropes open for Vince, and just kiss-ass party. So it's the corporation, but it's really Mr. McMahon's ass-kissing club prior to it actually existing. Which I can't wait to get into that once that comes along. Fucking ass-kissing. So, there he goes. He says, I resent the fact that many of you said I would, if it wasn't for The Undertaker, that Stone Cold would not have beat The Rock. I resent that. And basically what it comes down to here is that McMahon is kind of reiterating some of the same shit he said on the previous episode of Raw. And what I took away, the major thing that I took away from this is that you have him finally say for the first time, no chance in hell. As far as Stone Cold Steve Austin is concerned, Austin, there is no chance in hell that you will ever be the WWF champion again. And he also points out at that same time that The Rock's going to defend the championship against Mankind at the next pay-per-view, which is called, appropriately entitled, Rock Bottom. So, JV, what do you take away from that? He's basically just setting up what the next pay-per-view is, and
this only reinforces the fact that The Rock is their next guy. He's the champ, and if you had any doubt, they're naming a fucking pay-per-view after the guy. So.
Right, exactly. It's funny with the December pay-per-view because a year before the December pay-per-view was DX, and that's when they were very popular. And it was right after the screw job. So you had that pay-per-view basically named after Shawn Michaels, who was the star at that point, building towards Austin. And here they are now with The Rock, having a pay-per-view named after him. Then again, still building to Austin at WrestleMania 15.
And there's there was a Buried Alive pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, there had been one. I think what was that 96? Yeah, a while ago. It was Mankind and Undertaker Buried Alive. Yep.
Right, and then we have that match.
Right, and they're gonna have a Buried Alive match at this Rock Bottom, which that's pretty appropriate too. Rock Bottom Buried Alive match.
Oh yeah, good catch. For sure.
Man, didn't think of that until now. So he also mentions Royal Rumble too already at this point. So he's fucking hyping up 2 pay-per-views in a row. He's hyping up Rock Bottom. Then he also says, to show how much of a sport I am, at January's Royal Rumble, you will be one of 30 participants. That is, if you qualify. So he has Steve Austin has to beat The Undertaker in the Buried Alive match at Rock Bottom to make it into the Royal Rumble. So there's that stipulation. So that's pretty cool. Pretty interesting, too. All right. Now, throughout this episode of not Raw, Sunday Night Heat, rather, they start the injury. Like, Austin is injured. And apparently he was injured in San Jose, California in a house show. He had a blackout. He's been taken to the medical facility. So, using the term medical facility, that just tells me right away it's fucking work.
It's bullshit. Yeah, a medical. I wonder why they called it a medical facility, not a hospital.
That's one of his fucking favorite phrases, Vince McMahon.
What I'm thinking is maybe if they say hospital, and they know what town they're in, it could draw bad attention to the hospital. Might get some crazy fans showing up at the hospital because Stone Cold's there.
That fucking makes sense.
That's the only thing that I could really think of.
That might be right. Yeah, nice call. I think that's it.
I know. I thought of it.
So basically what you have throughout the episode is just some reports from Blackjack Lanza, who's one of the WWF officials at the time. And he's uncomfortable on the phone. It sounds like, and he's like, "Yeah, Austin seems to be okay now. And just basically giving a little updates. But yeah, he sounds pretty uncomfortable being on the phone, having to work. Or he's used to just talking to people in the back.
Yeah, he's on the phone and he's on television, so he's probably all fucked up.
Yeah. So what you have there is just a little preview of what's to come. Something Night Heat at this time, and I guess in general, is pretty much the build up for Raw.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what they're doing here, is just setting the stage for tomorrow on Raw, where Austin's going to be injured. So from there, we transition now to Mankind.
On a side note, quick though, do you recall? I don't recall watching a lot of these Sunday Night Heats. Even I never missed a Raw. I don't recall watching this. I think I was watching like The Simpsons or something.
Yeah, I must have been too, because
whatever was on
watching.
like Fox on Sunday nights seemed to dominate the
airwaves.
Yeah.
Even still to this day, I'm still watching Fox on Sunday nights.
You know,
programmed into me.
Yeah, you know, I am too.
I watch
Family Guy and all that. Yeah.
Family Guy, Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I don't watch Bob's Burgers though.
Oh, you're missing out.
Can't get into it.
All right, that's a different podcast. But yeah, it's a fucking great show. All right, so we got Mankind. Like I wanted to transition to a second ago. Mankind runs out, and watch out, guys! Hardcore champ coming through. and he's like chanting to himself, "He's hardcore. He's hardcore."
Yeah. He's the man. It's crazy how diverse of a character he could be. He could be crazy pulling his hair out as Mankind, you know, crawled up in the fetal position, giving like a really dark, raw promo. And then he can come out and do comedic shit like this and just,
so versatile. It's fucking
he's
awesome.
The man. Yeah, he really is.
I feel like every other week we're saying that he's the fucking man.
I feel like, during this time, because this was such great television. It's still these some of these wrestlers, Vince McMahon, etc., should have been nominated for like some acting awards.
It's such a shame that they don't even get qualified for it.
And you can't say, oh, but they're wrestlers, because a lot of fucking people were watching this. It dominated the airwaves.
Right.
It dominated Monday nights. It was bigger than Monday Night Football.
They were fucking
which
actors.
is unheard of now. You would never. You tell it to people now, they wouldn't believe it. Like younger generation that didn't experience the Attitude Era, Monday Night Raw was bigger than Monday Night Football. Bullshit. Because of how big Monday Night Football is now, obviously, but just to compare the two.
It's just crazy. They're so good that people didn't think of them as being actors because they believed them to be real people. That's how great they were as their characters. Yep. That they're just accepted as, no, that's how they really are. It's like, no, you got fooled, dumbass. They're actors. So, yeah, that's how really good they are. They should have fucking got awards. But they didn't. Oh, well. That's why people like us do what we do. And talk about them after 21 years.
This will be documented and on the internet forever.
Yeah. Lost in the internet.
Yeah.
All right, so you have Mankind, like I said, he comes out. He's fucking got a leaf blower. It has a big ribbon on it like it's a present. And that's what he was going to give to Vince McMahon. He said this was going to be a Father's Day gift. It's fucking November. I know we just had Father's Day here in June 2019, last week. So Mankind's a little off on when the fuck the holiday is. But that just makes it even funnier. He's crazy. And he wants to give it to him, and McMahon comes out and he just fucking shits on him again. He doesn't say the exact same line that he did the previous week, where he said, you can't shine caca, but this time he says you can't shine shit.
Yeah, which is much better than caca.
Right. It's like he wasn't sure if he should say shit yet. So he said caca instead last week. So he goes with shit this time, gets bleeped out, like I said. And McMahon says, well, Mankind, you're going to defend that hardcore title. And you're going to defend it against two people. And it's going to be a triple threat match. And that's going to be tomorrow against Shamrock and a Big Boss Man. And have a nice day. Being such a fucking dick, using Mankind's quote send them off there. And it's not much of a triple threat match. It's pretty much a handicap match. Shamrock and the Big Boss Man against Mankind.
Yep. Everything's a fucking one-sided match at this point now. If you're gonna, especially if you're wrestling a member of the corporation, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, you're screwed. I guess the last thing notable in the storyline of what we're talking about here this week, the corporation, Ken Shamrock defending against Val Venis, defending the IC title against Val Venis, and I thought it was pretty good match. Val Venis, we've talked about him before. He is pretty solid, but Ken Shamrock pretty much builds him up a little bit, makes him look a little better than he actually is.
And he's over as a face now, Val Venis.
Right. So how this works in here is you have Mankind runs out. He runs out with the fucking leaf blower, and he's going to whack Ken Shamrock with it. So we get a DQ finish. And then Bossman comes out, and they start to kick the shit out of him. And that's just building to the match on the next episode of Raw, which is in Columbus, Ohio. It was taped the day after the last Raw, so on November 17th, 1998, but actually aired on November 23rd. So let's go to that now. That's Raw 287, and typical of the time, and I'll say typical of today. We're going to start with a McMahon promo to open up the show. Whether it's Vince or Shane or Stephanie, that's just how it's been going for the last 21 years. So we're going to break it down, though, because they do take up the bulk of the show, the first portion of the show with these promos. So we're going to play the first part of it. So with a couple minutes of Vince McMahon. So take a listen to that.
Well, here we go.
For those of you who feel that Vince McMahon was behind the brutal attack last Monday when The Undertaker leveled Austin with a shovel, I had nothing to do with it.
Who would think that?
I categorically deny those accusations, and as you all know, I don't lie.
That's the truth.
I've never lied to you before, and I never will. When I guarantee something, you know you can take it to the bank.
That's the truth. Well, you're right about that. That is true. Lately, when McMahon guarantees something, it darn sure happens, unfortunately for some.
Now, in just a moment, we will name a new WWF commissioner. And why? Because everything that I do, everything that my family does, we do for you.
Who's it going to be, JR? I'm not so sure about that, Mr. McMahon.
I know we disagree sometimes. I know we disagree. But from the bottom of my heart, everything that we do for you.
He's really convinced he's telling us the truth. So is Shane.
Commissioner Slaughter has graciously decided to step aside so that the World Wrestling Federation can advance. So that the World Wrestling Federation can have an independent free thinker at the helm who does not answer to Vince McMahon.
Who will that be?
This commissioner will not answer to me.
Who's it going to be, JR?
This commissioner will have full rights and privileges to treat each and every WWF superstar with equality and with dignity. The only exception to the rule will be Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's mine.
Oh!
I will make all decisions as it relates to Mr. Austin.
Okay, who's it going to be,
So
Vince? Come on.
without further ado, the McMahon family proudly presents to you, ladies and gentlemen, the new WWF commissioner, the only Grand Slam winner here in the World Wrestling Federation. He is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels!
Shawn Michaels! Whoa!
All right, so at the start there, Vince McMahon reiterates what he had said on Heat, that he had nothing to do with the Undertaker hitting Austin with the shovel, and he doesn't lie. He can guarantee things, and if I guarantee something, you can take it to the bank. And he's going to guarantee something else, that there's going to be a new WWF commissioner, because he's going to do everything to make the fans happy, which is like obviously bullshit. But
Right. You don't give a fuck about us. You just
Right.
want your money.
Everything I do it for you. Like he's fucking Brian Adams. Robin Hood. Everything I do it for you. Oh, that was lame. You know what the song is?
What song?
Everything I do it for you.
Who sings it?
Brian Adams.
Yeah,
Robin
I know
Hood.
the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thought I lost you.
No.
Just sucked.
I had no reaction. You couldn't even get a fake laugh out of me.
Damn.
Or an even that sucked. I just had no reaction. I don't know what to make of it still. 30 seconds later.
Oh, well. All right. Moving on then. Maybe somebody laughed out there. All right. So McMahon's saying, the commish is going to be somebody that can do whatever they want. They're not going to report to me. They have full rights and privileges to treat each and every WWF superstar with quality and dignity they deserve. But the only exception is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's mine. I will make all decisions as it relates to Mr. Austin, which is cool because we haven't heard a lot about Austin. We've heard that he's injured and such. But McMahon is still making it a focal point of being, I'm in charge of him. So while there's a new commissioner, they can do whatever they want, but Austin is my guy. Austin's not going to get shit. So the new commissioner is announced. The McMahon family proudly presents to you the new WWF commissioner, the only Grand Slam winner, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is back. He's been away for, probably like 5 months at this point. He did some commentary back in June. But now here he is again. And he's coming back with his fucking cowboy hat. He's got his pyro in the ring, so they're right behind him again. And the first thing he says, of course, is there's a new sheriff in town. Well, Vin Man, or is it Mr. Vin Man? Regardless, sir, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity. So you get that little cocky HBK. And I mean, it seems obvious right from the get-go that he's got to be fucking tied together with this whole corporation thing.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you believe that Vince McMahon is going to have a commissioner, just be able to do whatever he wants?
And that guy be
Right, and it'd be HBK.
HBK. Like,
Who is,
no way.
who we all know, like, as a shoot, was working in cahoots with him to fuck over Bret Hart in November of 97. So here we are a year later, right after another screw job, fake screw job, and now Michaels is back. So they're just playing off of all that. Just on Survivor Series, they did the same exact fucking finish with the sharpshooter and ringing the bell. So it's fucking clear to see, and I'm glad they didn't drag it out. It just all plays out in this episode. So thank goodness, because that would have been shitty if they did that. And HBK is going to announce a match since he's the commish. He's going to give his boy X-Pac a title shot against The Rock. So at first you're thinking, oh, Shawn Michaels is, he's helping out his DX boys and he's against Vince McMahon and The Rock. And he's setting up this match. So we get to that match and basically, it's a good match. You just finished watching it before we started recording.
Yep.
And I said this before. I don't know if I said it on air or if I said it just prior to recording an episode way back, that X-Pac fucking damn solid, and you didn't think so. I think you've come around on that.
Yeah, no, for sure, totally. And you have said it on the. I think we had that back and forth on
Maybe when he first came in.
Air. Yeah, on air. Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely a solid worker.
Well, I don't think I doubted his ring work. I think what the comment you had said is that he'd be big time right now.
I still stand by that. I think
no, and I agree with that now. He was always a good work, but I agree with that now. Like I forgot how good he actually was with the big guys.
Yeah, I think he kind of led cleared the path basically for guys like him to be big stars today. In the eyes of Vince McMahon, basically.
I'd say so.
I mean, you guys like AJ Styles, these smaller guys.
He's a legitimate lightweight too.
Right. So fucking much props to X-Pac, basically, is my point here. But, he
was convincing. He was a bad dude. He had the attitude. Like, no. Like, if anything, yeah, I totally underrated X-Pac. Dude was a beast.
All right, so like I was saying, it was a pretty damn good match. You just watched it, and pretty solid. You get the Rock, he hits the corporate elbow. He gets the win. HBK fucking whacks X-Pac in the head with the chair just prior to that corporate elbow, so that's where you get the turn of HBK. And HBK, it's weird to see it. Watching it today, it's HBK, The Rock, Shane, and Vince all standing together doing crotch chops.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
And that's how that episode of Raw ends. But throughout that episode, they're talking about Austin, and there's segments throughout the night of Austin being at the medical facility after getting injured or having a blackout in San Jose.
Which is interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, we said just earlier that it was obviously at work because but maybe something did happen and then they just spun it.
Yeah, they played it into the storyline.
So maybe Austin was fucked up and passed out at the end of a match, and they just decided, well, people are going to talk about this, so let's use it as part of the angle. So I haven't heard anything like that. I didn't find anything. I tried to look up information about it, but there wasn't anything. So that's just a theory. But we have Austin in a medical facility, and he's going to have a little conversation. So take a listen to this.
Directly to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What's next, Doc? You guys kept me up all night. You running tests. I mean, this is getting a little old, man.
Mr. Austin, you had a concussion.
Well, hell yeah, I did. I got hit in the head with a shovel. What do you think?
Well, listen, you have a serious concussion here. Please take the medication the nurse has for you, get a good night's sleep, and you'll be out of here in the morning.
So we're done with all the tests?
We're done with all the tests.
I get some sleep, and then I get my ass out of here.
That's right, but you need to take a couple weeks off.
Well, I ain't got a whole lot to do with my damn schedule. You need to talk with someone else about that. I got to do what I got to do. Yeah. What?
Remember your blood pressure.
Yeah, you're damn right I remember it. Yeah.
Dr. Dunn, please call surgery.
He's going to make me sleep.
Yes, you'll get a good night's sleep, be out of here in the morning. Wonderful. But remember, a couple of weeks off.
Okay, now you're kind of starting to piss me off. Would you leave me alone?
Well, Steve, how do you feel, Steve?
How do I feel? Hell, I feel like I've been hit in the head with a damn shovel, man. It don't take a rocket scientist to watch a TV set and see that. You can damn well bet I'm going to get my payback in too, Jim. You damn right. As soon as I get my ass out of here tomorrow, I'll figure out exactly what I'm going to do. But I'll tell you one thing. Undertaker and Paul Bearer are going to have hell to pay. So get out of here.
We've got to get you calmed down.
Yeah, I'd like to calm down, but I'm a little hot.
Well, folks, if you missed it.
All right, so Austin is laying there in the bed in the medical facility, and the doctor says, well, you have a concussion. Well, yeah. Hell yeah, I got hit in the head with the shovel. He says, well, you need to take a couple weeks off. And Austin's like, well, I can't do that. You need to talk to somebody else about that. I can't just take fucking time off. So then JR just pops in out of nowhere. It's like, all right, I thought this was like in the room, like like we're supposed to just be hearing them. And then JR out of nowhere is like, hey, Austin. And Austin responds to him. It's like, all right, I guess there's a mic there where he can hear fucking Jim Ross. And JR asks him how's he feeling, and Austin's like, what the fuck you think? Fucking pissed off. I'm injured. Laid up over here. How you gonna feel if somebody hits you in the head with a damn shovel? And he says Undertaker and Paul Bearer are gonna have hell to pay, so they're building up the angle. That's to come. Undertaker and Austin. And we got the nurse. The nurse even fucking asked Austin for an autograph at one point.
Attractive, too.
Yes. A couple of them. There were two.
But the one that asked was... That's the one I remember. I don't remember the other one. That was behind her.
Yep. And I would generally put that in my notes. But you're right.
You didn't need to.
You're right. I didn't need to. So anyway, you got a fucking hearse pull up at the end of the segment, and Jerry Lawler calls it out just to put everybody on notice. What's that? So then you look, and it's like, oh shit, it's a hearse. So Undertaker appears at the 55-minute mark, and he's choking Austin in the bed, and Paul Bearer's looking on, and it's like they killed Austin. Paul Bearer's like, he's gone. Like he fucking killed him. Like he's dead. It's like, oh my god. Overly dramatic. But you like this shit. You said
I did.
It was fun, it was campy, so
I liked all the stuff.
You think.
I liked the Ministry. This is kind of like a precursor to really going full blown. We're going to see a lot more controversial shit over the next couple months, I believe. I like this stuff. I don't know. This campy horror aspect shit, when they put that in wrestling, I'm all in. Like even the Brood shit they got going on, which starts to build a little bit more momentum. As a side note,
Yep.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, it just kind of puts you to the point where it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be fucking serious all the time.
Yeah, I like when it gets dark, and the campiness is only kind of, I don't know, it's supposed to be fake. I don't know.
Right.
Not fake, you know what I mean? Because I know some wrestlers get offended when you use the F word.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean by fake. So
it's like saying today the Firefly Funhouse. That's fun.
I like that.
To me.
Yeah. I haven't watched much Raw, not to get into current events, but just briefly. While I was editing the ECW stuff, I was like, fuck it, I'll put Raw on. And as I turned it on, it was the Firefly Funhouse. And I was like, dude, this shit's gold.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's gold. Fun. And that's the kind of stuff I like. I don't know. Yeah. This was a little bit overboard, but...
Yeah, some of the shit made me think, like, what the fuck is going on here? But
it does make people, for sure, without a doubt, boo Taker.
Yes.
Because their last feud was about honor and all of that. Like, you still kind of liked Taker if you were an Austin fan because you knew, even though he had the stuff going on with Kane, there was still like you second guessed how bad the Undertaker was. Is he a bad guy? Like, what's his deal? Is he a stand-up dude just trying to get trying to get some gold? In this case, this is Taker trying to kill Steve Austin. So there's no doubt.
Now he's just heel.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt on what type of person Taker is at this point in time.
Is it? Good point. You're kind of turning me around on the angle because when I watched it earlier to take notes, I was like, fuck, I don't know about this.
Well, it's one of those things. It really depends on what kind of mood you're in, what kind of day you have. And you watch some campy shit like this. Everyone... It's all what kind of mood you're in when you're watching. It is out of left field. You don't expect it coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly my point of view is that, shit, Austin was just fucking in the main event scene, and now he's involved in this comedy shit. It's like, all right, that's a change. So,
but it's comedy, but it's comedy to us, but like still for their target audience, teenagers and shit. I remember eating this up. I was like, oh, like your preteens, your teenagers, this is the shit they eat up. I don't know about teens nowadays because they're fucking too smart for their own fucking good. But me and you, we were idiots back in the 90s, teenagers. We loved this shit.
You're right.
Before we had access to actual, like, real information via Google and stuff,
We didn't know anything. We just had to make shit up.
Yeah. We ate this brain rot up. It's fucking great. Definitely going to Harvard fucking watching this shit.
All right. All right, so let's just kind of wrap this angle up here. You got the Undertaker is gonna like you said, he's gonna try to kill him or whatever, and then he brings him to a fucking graveyard. He's gonna try to bury him. He's digging a hole, but then they decide, well, let's take him to the funeral parlor.
Yeah,
and then they're gonna embalm him. Let's embalm him alive.
Alive.
Fucking crazy.
It's funny how they put him out with chloroform. Chloroform? Is that what it's called?
Chloroform. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's like typical wrestling thing there. To knock somebody out with chloroform.
Yeah.
And then you got a mention of the
Is
ministry.
that shit easy to buy?
Fuck, I don't know.
People are just like, oh yeah, I got chloroform.
I don't even know if it's real.
No, it's real. I just don't know. Like, is that stuff hard to buy? Do you just walk into like fucking, is it on like aisle 6 in Walmart and they're like fucking bleach and shit? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna look for it tomorrow. I gotta go to Target or Walmart in the morning.
I would go CVS on that one.
I bet ask someone if they look at you.
You got any chloroform? Oh, do you want to rape somebody today?
You got any chloroform and rope?
And gloves?
Yeah, gloves. All right.
Oh man, what too creepy. All right.
Yeah, they got dark.
All right, so
because we were watching this fucking Undertaker shit.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking Paul Bearer.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
But it was fucking cool to see Paul Bearer in that segment at the 1 hour and 19 minute mark where he's putting on his gloves and he's ready to do the job. Like, finally, Paul Bearer actually doing what he's supposed to do. He's not just a manager. He's a fucking... what the
doing
fuck's
his
the
trade?
term?
His trade by name.
Yeah, his trade. Paul Bearer. Well, he's not a Paul Bearer, but a ball bearer, whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah,
he's like working in a funeral parlor. Yeah,
right.
He's
working in
he's
the
not
funeral
a pallbearer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's working in the funeral parlor. Like all the way back in ¡91. That was the name of his segment, the funeral parlor.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So here it is, full circle. And then you get the Undertaker. We got to play this clip. Just take a listen to it, and then we'll talk about it in a minute.
Oh my God, don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. The Undertaker and Paul Bearer are going to bomb Austin, for God's sakes, alive.
I hope that you can hear me. Because what you're about to experience is going to be the worst imaginable pain and horror that you could ever endure. You see death, Austin. When one understands it, they become ageless. They become deathless. They become immortal. Satana. Nadala. Anta of Satana.
God, JR, the Undertaker's speaking in tongues now. This is going to happen. Oh, no.
Navra.
No, come on. No. 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 No, come on. Please, no. It's Kane. Kane and the Undertaker. Kane is assaulting the Undertaker, but Austin is still out. Austin's got the scissors. Austin blocks Paul Bearer. The rattlesnake is up. Austin's down. Watch it. Kane has the Undertaker. Austin has the escape. He was running for his life.
All right, so while you got this embalming process going on, Undertaker, as you just heard, starts speaking some mumbo fucking jumbo, speaking tongues apparently, which I did hear from a Bruce Pritchard episode that he was known to do that he could speak in tongues, whatever the fuck that is. Just
what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Just like making
fucking a language words. People don't know.
Right. What is that, like Pig Latin?
Gibberish, you mean? Is it like a synonym
right.
to gibberish? It's a nice way of saying like you're fucking mumbling. Is it mumbling?
Right, mumbling.
I'm trying to make him sound smart.
Yeah.
He's fucking mumbling. He's speaking in tongue. No, he's fucking mumbling.
Yeah. Oh, he's bullshitting.
I think he's tripping.
I think he's acting. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. Voodoo.
So this reminded me though because I just watched this recently. It's funny. Child's Play. My wife had never watched Child's Play, and there's a new Child's Play movie coming out soon. And I was like, "You gotta fucking watch that movie." And we watched it the other night, and like right off the bat, it was the Brad Dourif, Charles Lee Ray going into the body of Chucky, the doll, the good guy
in the
doll,
toy store.
in the toy store after getting shot by the cop. And he's doing all the fucking mumbo jumbo, basically, that the Undertaker is doing.
Do you know it? I know it. I know the voodoo song.
Do it.
Do you know it?
I'd fuck it up, but
Ave Dewey Dembala, give me the power, I beg of you.
And then the fucking lightning hits and the fucking building blows up. But that's what it reminded me of. And
Same here. Anytime I see the word voodoo or any sort of like magical shit, I don't know why, I think of Chucky.
Yeah, voodoo, because that scene with the voodoo guy.
Yeah.
Chucky shows up.
And
he's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm still alive, but I'm a doll now."
Yeah. What do you mean? It's too late. He's bleeding and shit, and he can't get his soul in Andy's body because he's been in the body too long.
Right.
I know those movies well. Anytime they're on, I watch them. All three of them. 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, man.
Watch them.
I can't wait to watch part 2. I watched part 1 with my wife. She knew Chucky because she knew like Bride of Chucky and that shit, the comedy shit.
Ugh, those sucked.
So in that opening scene with Brad Dourif as Charles Lee Ray, when he's yelling, she's like, "Oh fuck, that's Chucky." Yep.
It's scary when his face gets all angry.
Oh, when he turns into like when the good guy doll talks, you mean?
No, when the good guy doll when he takes over the good guy doll.
Right, yeah.
And he's Chucky. Like he gets pissed off and he's running at you with a knife and shit.
Oh yeah. Definitely creepy. But I was saying that Alex, my wife, thought she noticed right away the voice of Brad Dourif coming from the actor when he was yelling at the opening scene when he was yelling at the cop. She recognized that's Chucky's voice.
Yeah. On a side note, before we get back into wrestling, one thing that does tick me off about the remake is I like Mark Hamill. Love Mark Hamill. Does great voice work. But man, Brad Dourif is Chucky.
And he's still alive.
Be my Chucky.
Why
didn't they use him?
Right.
Mark Hamill. Like, he's great. He's the Joker. He's fucking Luke Skywalker. He's good. But, man.
You know what's funny, though? Mark Hamill looks like Brad Dourif.
He does.
And he has like the same voice.
Laugh's good and stuff, but
yeah. Well, he's got the Joker thing, of course. You know, the Joker laugh. Why the hell
let
not
Brad Dourif have that?
Right,
you
that's
have enough
his thing.
Mark Hamill. Yeah, what the fuck? You're fucking Luke Skywalker, dude.
Robert Englund always gets to be Freddy Krueger. Fuck.
No, they had Jackie Earl Harley.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it sucked.
All right, but back to wrestling. I know we're kind of running off track here.
Yeah. All right, we're basically done. So
yeah.
So we had Undertaker do voodoo, and Kane makes a surprise appearance and shows up out of nowhere. Kane at this point has been like a lost soul, and he's by himself, and he's gonna return to stop Undertaker from killing Austin and bombing Austin.
Killing him. You got it right the first time. Killing him via embalming alive.
Yeah, so even Paul Bearer tries to fucking stab Austin with scissors, and that's when Kane walked in. So yeah, pretty campy shit there, and that pretty much wraps up the heart of the shows here. We do have some side notes. JV, you want to get into side notes? There's been some storylines going on over the past few weeks. We didn't get to much last week because Survivor Series was so fucking long that it took up most of our episode. But we do have some ongoing storylines. Was there anyone that you wanted to kind of focus on?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to start in chronological order or just throw them out there? Because, like, for me, Raw 286, which we covered today, fucking Hawk, Road Warrior Hawk attempts suicide.
All right,
on the top of the Titantron.
All right, let's go to that then. LOD. Yeah, so that's been going on for a little while. Of course, you got Draws and Animal and Hawk. They got their ongoing feud going on. Yep. But yeah, get into that Titantron fucking crazy.
Well, basically, Hawk's at the so you got Animal with James Ellsworth. That's his name, right? I always forget his name. And he's on TV. The original manager,
Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering, James Ellsworth. Who the fuck's James Ellsworth? Yeah, Paul Ellering. he's there with Road Warrior, Animal, and Draws. And Hawk's at the top of the Titantron. They're trying to talk him down, and Paul's kind of feeding him all the lines like, "Hey, I'm like a father figure to you, blah blah blah. Don't do it." And it's nuts because fucking Draws starts to climb the Titantron, gets to the top, and he's trying to talk Hawk out of it, and he legit like pushes Hawk off.
Right, Hawk's telling him, "Get the fuck off me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me!" And then Draws puts his hand on him and then pushes him.
Yeah,
goes flying off. And
they actually had some heat between the two of them leading up to that, so which was shown on additional side notes.
But to think at when this happens, and what's about to happen months later with Owen Hart, this is fucking man. I know I know.
Think of that. Yeah,
I know it's not connected at all, but still, it's just like, eesh.
It's creepy. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a creepy ass moment for sure. And then the following week on Heat, episode 17, Draws is like a big ass troll. He's wearing Hawk's face paint, and he's saying "well" and "what a rush," and Animal's like not having it either. He's just kind of pissed off about it, but doesn't say anything. So I guess that'll be ongoing, and they don't say anything that happened to Hawk. So I guess we'll kind of take note of that and talk about as it progresses next week. So yeah, that was pretty weird. In terms of side notes that I wanted to bring up, how about the fucking Godfather lately? He has this feud going on with Steven Regal.
Yeah, it's great. He's always tempting him with his hose.
Right, and Steven Regal actually accepts the hose, and that throws Godfather for a loop on Raw 286. And one of the before I even get into it, he has the hose out there. Usually they're hot, so that's normal. But fucking one chick keeps lifting up her skirt and shaking her ass.
Oh, I missed that.
I don't know if she's black or if she was just really tan.
Yep.
But she had a fucking nice tits hanging out and kept shaking her ass. So that was kind of distracting as I was taking notes. My wife was in the fucking room at the time, of course, so I had to act like I wasn't fucking like, whoo-hoo, look at that. But had to be serious. And she's like always thinking like, what the fuck? Every time I'm taking notes and she's in the room, I feel like the Godfather always shows up and she's like, I can't believe this shit.
It's like bad timing. Like,
right.
what the fuck?
She's like, what the hell is this wrestling?
Probably the last guy you want on.
Right.
Because of the people he surrounds himself with.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm a pimp. Pimping ain't easy.
Fucking pimp.
So he says that, and then he even goes to the point now, which is the shocking moment here with Regal. So, like I said, Regal takes the hose, and Godfather's like shocked, and he's like, shit. To quote Archie Bunker, England ain't nothing but a place full of fags. And I was like, what the fuck was that? How did that get passed through? How do they allow that to be said? Even in 1998 to say something like that. And
that's too much.
I meant to go back and look to see if Archie Bunker actually said that on All in the Family.
I don't know. I don't know. I've heard that show. I've never really watched the show. It's way before my time.
Yeah. No, it's a great show. It's known for controversial shit like that, but
that's how I know it. Yeah.
It's a super liberal show, though. So he's kind of like the conservative guy who's supposed to look like an idiot.
Yep.
But so many people resonated with that line of thinking back in the 70s that he was basically a babyface. Funny how it worked out that way. So anyway, you got that, and that was pretty weird. And then you got Sable. Sable and Jacqueline become like best friends over the course of the next couple episodes, which that's just marginal side note shit. But you have that. I mean, anything with Jackie's always pretty damn good. But now she's teaming up with Sable. Fucking the ongoing story of Mark Henry in China has been evolving.
Yeah, what is going on there? I'm never interested enough to kind of pay attention.
Yeah, basically China maybe sexually harassed him or something. He gives her a lawsuit, but he's been saying poems to her and shit. And she's been missing. She hasn't been involved in anything for like over a month.
And then she shows up.
And then she finally reappears, and she's just gotten her reconstructive surgery, and looks a little different than the last time we saw her. I guess she was having problems with her chin. Like her chin actually caused her pain.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she got surgery for that. At least that's what the reports say. And she looks a little bit more feminine after this. And seeing her as that, like what you seeing her like that, like doesn't sound right. But seeing her after the surgery and prior, I think I dig prior to surgery more than.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
But you think she looked better before surgery?
Yeah, I think she looks more like Michael Jackson after her surgery. So I'm not down with that. But that's just my 2 cents. Other side notes, you have an ongoing story on Heat where you got the Acolytes, Bradshaw and Farouk teaming up, coming out with fucking paint all over their chest. So they're going to go on to become pretty cool stars in the Attitude Era. So we get the beginning of them. And they're just kicking the shit out of people, basically. And they're aligned with the Jackal at this point, who we haven't seen since the early days of Kurgan. who is now wearing like some kind of leather string, some kind of weird hat.
It's like a fucking lucha mask out the front.
Yeah. And he's doing his little dance all the time. But I think there's a couple fucking big stories in the side notes. You got the Blue Blazer, the whole fucking Blue Blazer angle going on.
Yep.
Which it's cool, but there's so much to go through, and I don't want to go through it all. But you have this story of who's the Blue Blazer. We all know Owen Hart's the Blue Blazer, but Owen Hart shows up while the Blue Blaze is out there, and he's aligned with Jeff Jarrett, and sometimes Jeff Jarrett's out there, and the Blue Blazer shows up. So we got this: who the hell is the Blue Blazer? And then sometimes you got Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett out there, and the Blue Blazer shows up. So they're trying to throw everybody for a loop, and who the hell is it? So I always liked it. I thought it was a pretty cool angle back in the day, and it's nice to see it again. Doing this little mystery. This is like totally Vince Russo type of storyline, and I'm digging it. On the last couple episodes on Raw 286 and 287, the Blue Blazer comes out there, and I'm not sure exactly who it is, but I would say it's fucking Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler. It's got to be.
That's probably good odds there.
Right, because he would always do the random shit like that. And then I guess the other major storyline is the Job Squad. They're fucking, in the last episode of Raw 287 from November 23rd, they're totally involved in like everything. So first off, you get Al Snow debuts with his Job Squad on Heat. So just on a basic Heat, November 8th, 1998. And then 2 weeks later, on Raw 287, Shamrock versus Big Boss Man versus Mankind, that hardcore title match. Job Squad shows up, and they cost them the championship. They cost Boss Man and Mankind the match. Rather, Shamrock and Boss Man the match, and Mankind gets over again as the hardcore champ. And it makes sense because he's a job guy. So we're going to help all the type of job guys. And then later in that same episode, or earlier in the same episode, Christian is defending against Dwayne Gill, who appeared on Survivor Series against Mankind. And the Job Squad comes out and helps him, and he becomes the fucking light heavyweight champ. And Dwayne Gill's going to become Gilbert soon after and have the belt. And he's going to be part of the Job Squad. And then the Job Squad's Scorpio and Bob Holly beat the New Age Outlaws on the same episode of Raw 287, and become the tag team champions. So Job Squad not doing the job really. They're starting to win every match that they're involved in, and helping the job type guys get over. Right, they're not jobbing. And that's pretty much it. Did you have any other ones? I know you like the Brood.
Yeah, well, Dwayne Gill wins the beats Christian, right? It's Christian he beats.
Yeah, he beats Christian. Yeah,
which is crazy because it's fucking Gilbert, Dwayne Gill.
Yeah,
and I think Dwayne Gill. What's funny is when you look at his Titantron, it's like Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, it shows Marty Jannetty pinning him.
Yeah. I was like, this is great. But that's it for me with really side notes.
All right, so I think that pretty much catches us up to where we were. I know, like I said, we didn't cover much last week because we didn't have time to, but we had a little bit of time to just go back and cover some of the side notes, and that pretty much concludes. So we can wrap things up here and go to our house show rundown. And there wasn't much. There was only 3 dates. There was November 20th, the 21st, and 22nd. So we got one weekend there in Bakersfield, California, Anaheim, and San Jose. And San Jose is where Austin possibly maybe blacked out and really injured himself. And they worked that into a storyline. And in that match, Austin defeats Kane, Undertaker, and The Rock in a non-title match. And in Anaheim the night before, you had the same result. And same thing in Bakersfield. So Austin beats Kane, Undertaker, and The Rock. And that wraps up the house show rundown. But JB, what do you have for a oh hell yeah moment?
This one I kind of had a hard time with, but I'm actually gonna go with the embalming part of episode Raw 287. So where Taker's trying to embalm, fucking kill Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. So yeah,
I liked all that shit with the graveyard and everything. So
yeah, all right. So no, you kind of turned me on it. I'm not going to say it's my oh hell yeah moment because it's not what I went into it thinking. But I'm going to say my oh hell yeah moment is the match between The Rock and Austin on Raw 286.
See that was my number 2. That's funny. That's what I was debating too, picking the match. But I'm like, I don't want to pick that match because they have better matches in the future.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to. I don't know. But those were the 2 I had here in my notes to flag as potential hell yeah moments.
What about your oh hell no?
Easy, Insane Clown Posse. The fuck off. The fuck out of wrestling.
We didn't even talk about them though.
Don't have to. They were there.
They were there.
Get them the fuck out.
They interfered in a match, costing. They
ended up teaming with the Headbangers. See, that's fucking nuts. Because as I saw them as I was watching the episode, I'm like, fuck. And they beat the Oddities.
It's funny. I didn't even take any notes on it, and I was like, JV's gonna pick this as an oh hell no moment.
Yeah, I don't even have to. I usually watch the whole episode. It's just some of the stuff in the middle. I get sidetracked because I'm fucking.
Right.
It's 2019 and
shit
people
going on.
People do other shit while they're doing shit.
Right.
But no. So I get earlier in the show, the Insane Clown Posse is recruiting the Oddities to help them, not so they didn't have to face the Headbangers or something.
Right.
And then they end up helping the Headbangers.
Right. And Luna chases after ICP and
yeah.
So everyone's pissed off. All the Oddities are pissed off at him.
Yeah, and they're comforting Luna in the ring. And
yeah.
Fucking Insane Clown Posse, ICP.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Juggalos. Oh, there's probably Juggalo listeners.
Sorry. I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't like them.
We're not Juggalos.
Yeah, not Juggalos. Not welcome here. Seriously. Just.
All right. We lost 4 listeners.
4 Juggalos. They obviously weren't doing good because I know there's more than 4 Juggalos in the world. And you should have been pushing it to all the rest of the Juggalos. So now I hate you Juggalos even more.
All right, so my oh hell no moment is fucking Earl Hebner drinking beers with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Fuck you, asshole.
I like it.
Acting like you're a badass and the extra attitude.
Trying to get brownie points here from Mr. Pro? No way. Not happening.
No way. So screw you, Earl Hebner.
Yeah, at least he didn't mime it. He actually drank it.
Right, yeah, that's true.
He was like,
hey, how do I drink this thing?
Fucking hand in the air, neck crocked back, nothing in his hand. And he's calling for the bell. What the fuck you doing, Errol?
Yeah. All right, so next week on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, we'll move forward in this story. Things are going to start to heat up with The Undertaker and Steve Austin. I think we're even going to get a crucifixion next week. I don't know if we could actually really call it that because it's not a crucifix, but it's almost like one.
Fucking sacrifice.
Yeah, some kind of sacrifice. So we'll talk about that next week on episode 38. And good lead-in to our podcast plug here for Talking Taker. So Talking Taker is one of the friends of our show, and they've been covering the whole career of Undertaker. So they've talked about what we're getting into already. So if you want to hear their perspective on what you guys are listening to from the Undertaker side, go ahead and take a listen to Talking Taker. They do just a recap, just like we do here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, but only for the Undertaker. So take a listen to Alex Dorio.
Definitely a different perspective you'll get.
Yeah, it's good to see both sides of it
for this storyline.
Right. All right, so just take a listen to Alex, and he's gonna cut a little promo about what his show's all about.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
All right, so check out Talking Taker. And also, shout out to our friend Mike Mills and his podcast, Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. And what they do on Booking the Territory is they cover NWA WCW World Championship Wrestling on Saturday nights from the late 80s. So they started in 85, but now they're at 1988. And they'll be covering February 20th, 1988 on their Thursday episodes. And then on Sundays, they do the Smoky Mountain Wrestling recap. And they are fucking far along. They're on episode 148 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which is November 26, 1994, which is just around the time of Thanksgiving Thunder. And they'll drop that on Sunday. And we are now, working along with Booking the Territory, as we said at the top of the show, and we have our Extreme ECW livecast on their Patreon feed. So if you want more of JV and I covering some old ECW all the way back to 93, join Booking the Territory on Patreon at the $5 tier. And we got 3 episodes up on there, and we do that every 2 weeks. So definitely check it out. I mean, even if it's just for 1 month and just try it out. If you don't like it, then hey, screw it. Cancel your pledge. But give it a shot, and then you might enjoy it. So it's a fun ride to go on. Like JV said earlier, he's getting into it. I'm fucking loving it already. So, I mean, if you like listening to us here, you'll like listening to us over there. Watch along format. So definitely check that out.
Hey, before you leave, hey!
All right, so let's wrap things up here. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, at Bottom Line Cast.
What?
You can reach out to me and JV on Twitter at MPRU83 and
What?
at John Van Damage, John with an H, at John Van Damage. And if you're on iTunes, if you're listening to us on iTunes,
What?
give us a review. I mean, a 5-star review, not just a shitty review. Give us a 5-star review. It can help us out. And JV, anything that you have to say? Any final words?
Nope. Nothing.
I always know there's no. It's like,
And I have no follow up. Like, hey, you know what? I got some other dumb shit I gotta get off. I just fucking don't feel like I can fucking contribute at the end of the show. But no, I got nothing.
I know, it's just like part of my script. JV, any final words? All right, because I don't want to just be like, yeah, fuck you, JV. Nothing. You're not saying shit. We're off.
Nope. Don't got anything.
I'm just being nice.
Yeah.
And I don't need
I was
to be.
being honest for once.
All right, guys.
Being honest.
All right, guys. See you next week. So long.